flip it.
Are you gonna have a link?
Yep, just do it.
Only because my 16-year-old daughter was like, Dad can use the live barn. I have my own live barn. And she just texted me. She goes, I don't know my live barn. What's the link? I was like, you do not. This live barn is like $100 and some odd. We have one account that we all share. Okay. On YouTube. See, Mia would have done the commentary, but she's not allowed to be here, so she can't miss school. So instead I have my fingers crossed that she's gonna be fine home alone all weekend.
Totally fine. Alright, it's out there.
In the box. Hey, we're coming up to the second period. Commentary will show up here a little bit later. Trying to get some still photography of the girls playing a game. Looks like Catherine's in the box for another 59 seconds at the start out of this second period. Looks like we could use at least one more player out there. Here we go. All right, here's the start of our second period. Offside call on the Lady Rough Riders. We're down to 4:48 in the first period. I'm sorry, the second period. We got an icing call on the Lady Rough Riders having a face-off in the Rough Riders D zone. Looks like we have Georgia out there giving some love to Maddie. Georgia Emily on D. Like we have Harper for center. Catherine is this inside wing, and Sasha outside wing. I'm sorry. Yeah, Sasha. We have Harper taking across the red line down the center, but gets a turnover. I'm not sure. They're saying it was a offside call, but I'm pretty sure the turnover was over the blue line and never crossed over, so. Same crew for the Rough Riders as Aspen cycles out some skaters. Aspen wins that face-off. George is there to clean up the trash as it tries to go across the neutral zone. Harper's able to pick it up from a pass from Georgia. She gets it down to the goal line. Catherine putting pressure on. Aspen dumps it across the blue line. George is there to pick it up, take it back out of our zone. Up to Sasha. Sasha to Harper. We're in their zone. There's a ton of pressure as Aspen loses an edge. Emily saving that blue line. Gets it up to Sasha. Sasha's looking for a center opening. She takes a shot, goes around the back of the net. Puck wraps around the wall, gets out, but Georgia stops it. Harper picks it up on a pass from the Aspen shooter, and it is a goal by Harper at 2:10. Looks like a run clock in this tournament. That was a great shot by Harper. She puts it up and over the goalie's shoulder. We have a 1-1 game now. And hopefully no more penalties.
Number 11.
Got a face-off with, looks like Mackenzie Haley over here on this inside wing. Evelyn. A shot on goal by Aspen as there's a bit of a rebound, but Maddie dived to get a hold of it before an Aspen could get in there and pick it up. Looks like Millie's over in that far wing. Win face-off by Mackenzie. Quick stick by Mackenzie as she keeps putting a stick on that puck every time Aspen tried to pass. Shot on goal from Aspen. Maddie was able to get a leg pad on it. We get out into our zone. Millie picks it up at the red line. Turnover at the red line. Evelyn behind our net with final 20 seconds in the second period. Aspen's pushing hard as they're looking for an opportunity to get a shot off. There it is. And it slipped underneath the leg pad as Maddie went to the ground with 5 seconds left on the clock. That puts Aspen in the lead. when we start out in this third period.
Goal, Aspen. At the end of 2 periods, Aspen 2, Rough Riders 1.
Stick down.
Steamboat Springs officials have that clock running nonstop, even for in between periods. We've got our final 15 minutes in this third period to catch up and beat the Aspen team here. Looks like we have Ann for a face-off. Lindsay on this near wall, Kat on the far wall. Georgia and Maddie Benish in the rear for D. Face-off win by Aspen as they bury it across the red line for an icing call. Same crew out here. No one changed out in that first, 7 seconds as we get a face-off deep in Aspen zone. Good face-off by Ann as she battled it out there at the center point. I'm sorry, at that far circle point. Turnover twice at the blue line as Aspen gets it into our zone on this near wall. We have Georgia picking up on the wide pass from Aspen as it gets right down below us here. Turnover at the red line. Aspen tries to bury it deep again, but it gets caught by Maddie, and she decides to bring it in as there is a spot for her to take it in. Harper is on the ice now. She took a shot, went wide of the net, and she had pressure on her. Aspen's back in our zone with 3 as they cycle out their D off the back. Sasha was able to get a hold of a bad pass by Aspen. She tries to get over to Harper along the red line, but Aspen was there to pick it up. Georgia's back at our goal line, D-to-D pass over to Maddie. Maddie's on the outside wall looking for a good pass up to Harper at the center of the blue line. Harper passes it over to Catherine, but Aspen sees it and gets a hold of it. We have another call against the Rough Riders. We're in the box. Not sure what the call was. Looks like Emily's in the box for, well, we're down to 12:46 on the clock. I think it's a 2-minute penalty. Yep. So we're on a penalty kill here. So we're short-handed and short 1 goal to Aspen. Last time we were in the box, Aspen was able to get a goal on us. Harper with the win on the face-off. It's like Millie's over in the corner is battling out hard. Harper's backing her up. They pin it off. Harper's taking it on the outside wall. She tries to do a pass to herself, but it gets just past her. Aspen D hits it back up across center ice. Evelyn Brown on for D now. She was able to get it back into the zone, and another turnover in the neutral as, ooh, that was too close. Aspen set up one of their players good. We're down to a minute 24 on this penalty kill as Aspen gets back into our zone, takes a shot once, twice. One hits the outside of the net on the outside wall, and then another one on the inside. Maddie was able to smother it. 11:49 left on this clock for the third period. Minute 13 for the penalty box. I think Maddie knocked her helmet a little bit on the side of the goal post, so she is working on her helmet there under the supervision of the ref. These runtime clocks minus stuff like this is makes for a really short game. Makes for a fast game too. All right, Maddie's got her helmet on, blocker and glove and stick. We're ready. Good face-off by Mackenzie. There's chaos going along. Maddie picks up smothers the puck on this inside post. Mackenzie on the face-off. Sasha, Georgia. Battle in that far wall. Rough Riders were able to get it back to Georgia. Georgia tries to bank it off the wall. Aspen uses it to center, and we tie them up so they can't get a clean shot off. Georgia on this near wall. There's some confusion on who's going to take the puck. All right, we got a hot puck going across the ice toward the goal. Their goalie decides to stop it. We got 19 seconds left in this call. Looks like there's a injured player on Aspen. I'm not sure what happened. Mackenzie's checking on her because it looks like there's an impact between the two. Good sportsmanship by Mackenzie checking out the other player. Looks like she's okay. I think she got her helmet knocked sideways. Having a fitted helmet helps a lot to keep it from rotating separately from your head. Got a new crew out. Looks like Harper's going to be on point. Haley on the outside, Georgia on D, and Sasha on D. Harper's battling out over here, solo against two. She's looking for an opening as we've done the penalty kill. Good job, Rough Riders. as Aspen gains control and gets it into our zone. Catherine's on the ice picking up that puck. Aspen tried to center it, but Sasha said no thank you and was able to get control of it. They get it up to Harper. Haley off the ice as she passes. Harper gets a shot off, but Aspen has a stick on it and it goes high. That puck is bouncing so much, all the girls are having trouble keeping control on their shots and passes as it just starts wobbling and bouncing. Good example right there. Another turnover in the center ice. Georgia gets a hold of it as it gets near the blue line. She brings it all the way in on this inside wall. It takes a wide shot, hits the outside of the net. It's a good shot, good play by Georgia. Harper's looking for a shot. She's got two players on her as she tries to center it. She get turnover at the goal line back behind Aspen. It's up to the red line. Georgia puts it across the red line. We have an icing. It's all right. Some fresh skaters on the ice. We're down to 8:59 on the clock. Not sure what was happening earlier. They were running the clock, and now they're not. So I wonder if we lost a few minutes. The officials were running the clock when they shouldn't have. Good face-off by Ann. Looks like we have Kat, Emily, Lindsay, and Maddie Benish. Shot toward goal. Maddie gets in the way. Ann tries to get it out of the center, right in front of Maddie. Sorry, too many Maddies. We have Maddie in the goal and Maddie Benish on D. Maddie Benish taken across the blue line. She's got one against her. She got one on her tail. She's going in for a shot. Shot on goal. Off the there's a rebound there for us to pick up. Ann gets it before it hits the blue line. So over the blue line, Maddie does the D to D over to Emily. Emily's looking for a centering shot, almost from the red line. Ann picks it up over here on the inside circle. Goes back behind the goal. It's over to Lindsay as Lindsay pins one of the Aspen players against the wall. Emily was able to get it down behind the goal. Kat was looking for a centering pass. She was behind it. Emily takes a shot, off the stick and tumbles over the top of the post. Let's not be picky about clean shots. Let's just get shots on goal. Ann's on the doorstep as their goalie lays on it, and another Aspen player's on her knees, just swiping and slashing to keep us from getting an open shot. That was a great shift from that group. Like Millie and Haley are on the ice. Mackenzie's on face-off. Evelyn I'm sorry, number 41, I don't know who that is. Mason. It's the last name, number 41. Got a face-off right off the Rough Riders bench at 7:16. Some back and forth going. We did a centering pass. Aspen was there. Mason just dropped to her leg and swiped it out of the way, so they couldn't get a inside wall shot off. Excuse me. Turnover at the red line. 2 Aspen are in deep into our zone. Shot off. Oh boy, hit the glove and bounced over the top of the net. Centering pass up to Millie, but the puck was bouncing a little bit and she lost off her stick as Aspen sweeps in to grab it. Good pressure by Catherine as she flies in off the bench to help the team out. Looks like Harper's out here now too. Georgia wrapping around behind Maddie in the goal. She's taking on this inside wall. She passes it up to Harper. Harper's looking for her second goal here. Aspen crashed into the net pretty hard to block any kind of shots. Over to Georgia on this inside wall. She tries to center it back out for any Rough Rider to get a shot off. Turnover right inside their zone. That is going to be an icing call against Aspen. We're down to 5:39 in the third period. Very happy they're stopping that clock now. Emily and Georgia on D. Sasha, Catherine, and Harper is our forwards. Harper does a fantastic win on that faceoff right back to Catherine. Catherine gets a shot off. Aspen was right there to block it. And that was like 10 seconds ago. It took so long to talk that out. The Aspen parents screaming at that kid to go across the line and skate it in instead of pass it off. I'm not sure why we're blowing the goal horn. None of that happening in our zone anymore. Face off at 5:20 in the third. Kenzie on this face-off. Looks like Haley and Millie are out there for our wings. George is still out there on D. She's bringing it up the outside wall. She's just dangling, got it all the way in deep, but Aspen picked it up as they had a cherry picker or someone who wasn't skating very fast on the back end. Turnover in our zone as we're falling over each other over in that corner. Oh, it's Aspen trying to take an NHL level shot off her knee on the center point. Thankfully, it was a bad pass. Aspen's all the way back in our zone, taking a heck of a heater of a shot. It goes wide, and it hits the outside corner, goes all the way out of our zone. It had so much speed. Looks like we're changing out nearly the entire line as not sure what the call was. Maybe, I don't know what it was. They blew the whistle, and now we're doing a face-off now in the Aspen zone. Harper's on face-off. She wins it. She gets it over to Catherine. Catherine gets a shot off. It goes high and over. Aspen picked it over on this inside wall. Maddie Benish was able to slow it down some. Maddie's retrieving that puck down at our goal line at 3:45 left in this period or in this game. She gets up to Evelyn. Evelyn to Harper. Harper's at the blue line. She's across the red line. She's across the blue line. She passes over to Sasha. Aspen was on Sasha. Harper picked up. She gets back to Evelyn. Evelyn takes a shot. Oh, and Catherine was trying to pick it up. Maddie Benish gets a shot off. And there is pushing and shoving in front of the Aspen's goal right there. Goalie's got to be panicking with that many dark jerseys standing in front of her, swatting at a puck. Sasha's looking for a shot. Setup time was a little bit too long, so there's a turnover. Harper gets it right at the blue line, sees that we're still offsides, and she waits. She kicks it to the far wall. Gives us time to reset. Looks like we have Mason down here on this inside wall. She gets up to Sasha. Sasha up to Harper. Harper is cherry picking at that red line. Aspen loses the edge on her skate. Harper gets totally hooked, gets a shot off into the goalie's chest. That is going to be a hooking call on Aspen with 2:22 left on this third period. Rough Riders still trail by 1 goal.
Penalty, Aspen. 2 minutes for tripping.
So this is our only game this Friday. I think our next game is tomorrow morning. Aspen presses their penalty kill. Georgia pulls it all the way into the zone with Millie. Georgia gets a backhanded shot on goal. Their goalie covered it up with 1:37 in this power play and 1:59 left in this game. Mason 41, Georgia 75 is back here on D. McKenzie won that faceoff. Georgia tries to get a shot off. Aspen, she gets a second shot toward goal. Aspen was able to get a pad on it before one of the skaters. Shot back deep into the zone. Millie picks it up. She's at the goal line. She centers it. But Halo is still too tied up. She had 2 Aspen. Shot on the post by Mason from the outside of the outside circle. It's a lot of outside, sorry. We're down to a minute on this penalty play. Pass back to Georgia. Georgia gets a shot toward goal. It goes wide. Millie putting pressure on the outside wall. Mason tries to stop it before it cuts across. We pulled our goalie. We are 6 skaters on the ice. Harper's on the ice. Maddie, our goalie's off. Harper takes it into the zone. She takes a shot hard down the center lane. She picks up her own trash, takes another shot on goal, hits their goalie. If they stop the clock soon enough, we just lost 3 seconds because they're not on it. We're down to 47.9 seconds on this clock. We're still on our penalty power play with 6 skaters on the ice for 26 more seconds. We had a timeout by one of the teams. Charlie Mason is 41. Maxon. Sorry, it wasn't Mason, it was Maxon, number 41, Charlie. All right, girls are coming out. They sound like they're going to get a goal. Like we're going to have Harper on point, McKenzie, Sasha, Georgia, Charlie, and Catherine out there. Let's go. We need this. win by Harper on that faceoff, but it gets past our back line. George is picking up with 40 seconds in front of our goal. Sasha's screening her as she takes it all the way into the zone. 30 seconds left. Georgia centers it right to Kathleen. Kathleen, I'm not sure how that wasn't a penalty call. Looks like there's a shot on goal, 15 seconds from Georgia. Penalty kills over. I'm sorry, penalty players off. That is going to be game. We're going to be down by 1 as there's a battle at the red line with the buzzer going off. I think those mistakes by the scorekeeper not keeping a finger on that stop clock and running through minutes of run clock every time the whistle is blown the second period, maybe even the first. That is a bummer. All right. That is the first and last game for this Friday morning. We will be back tomorrow. I'm not sure what time it's at. I'm sure your family will update you. Girls played hard. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching.